Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Air Force ROTC Detachment 772 Spring 2025 Commissioning Ceremony. My name is Cadet Jack Kirkove, and I will serve as your Master of Ceremonies for tonight's event. At this time, I'd like to ask everybody to please find their seats, silence their electronic devices, and we will begin momentarily. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party, the playing of the national anthem, and the invocation given by retired Brigadier General Dr. Ron Harvell. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming retired Brigadier General Dr. Ron Harvell for the invocation.
You may be seated. Lieutenant Colonel Glover gave me the opportunity to have a couple of minutes to kind of maybe help set the stage for the importance and how valuable this particular day is, not only for you and your families, but for the world. For you have now an opportunity to be able to change the world and to be in places and to go see and do things that you would never thought that would be imaginable. And you get to be a part of a team, of a family, of a community of people who are part of one of the four professions that we look at here in the United States. We obviously have lawyers who are professionals. We have medical folks who are professionals. We have ministry people, probably the coolest folks, I would think, the ministry people who are professionals, and we have military as professionals. And the United States looks at those four folks and say, that's who I want to be like. I want to be like one of them. But interestingly, only about 2% of the United States actually participates in being a part of a military member. And you have chosen to be a part of this, and so I want to speak to families for a moment and say thank you. Thank you for your service to your family, to your family member, to your son or your daughter who is here. We thank you for being willing to send them, and I know from my own experience as a military brat and married to my wife for 34 years as a military chaplain, how important it is to know that you're going to continue to love them and to have a relationship with them, and that you'll care for them and pray for them and lift them up on the journeys that they're going to be on. It is an all family in type of deal. And so we're thankful for you and for your opportunity today to be here for this such an important day. And Mark, as you become a member of the military forces formally and become second lieutenants, and I'm excited about that particular part of this particular day. So before we pray for y'all, I want to kind of just give you an opportunity to think about that you may be in a place someday in your future where you will do something, see something, say something that will have a dramatic play in somebody's life. In my years, the 34 years of being in the military, you get to do some pretty cool stuff. And I was at the house today, and I was just thinking, for some reason, I was opening a drawer that I hadn't before, and in it I found this piece of concrete that I had forgotten was in this particular drawer. And it's from the Berlin Wall. And it's a chunk of Berlin Wall that somebody gave me an opportunity to say, thank you for doing something, and here's a piece of concrete that represents God using you and people like you to be able to change the world. Lord Jesus, thank you for this day. Thank you for this time. We pray for each of these 7 today who are pinning on, who are moving into the ranks of being an officer in the most revered and honored Air Force in the world. Thank you, God, for that. And I pray that each of them will bring glory and thankfulness from you for their service and their commitment. So today, for this particular ceremony, we ask, God, that this would go really well and that it would be very honorable for our 7 new folks who are going to be second lieutenants in the United States Air Force. God, thank you for this. Thank you for this time. And thank you for our ROTC detachment and their team and the wonderful things that they're doing, not only to change the lives of individuals, but God, to transform the landscape of the future and transform the world. It's in your name, Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Dr. Harvell. I'd like to take a moment to recognize today's official party. Please hold all your applause until each member has been recognized. President of Charleston Southern University, B. Keith Faulkner. Retired Brigadier General, Dr. Ron Harvell, and his wife, Ms. Marsha Harvell. Commander of Detachment 772, Lieutenant Colonel Glover, and his wife, Ms. Laura Glover. Our guest speaker, United States Air Force retired Lieutenant Colonel Warren Parker, and today's commissionees. On behalf of Detachment 772, we would like to thank a few more important people here today. Our Operations Flight Commander, Captain Jesse Power, our Recruiting Officer, Captain Atlanta Whittington, and our non-commissioned officer in charge, Technical Sergeant Lance O'Rourke. Additionally, we would like to thank the Charleston Southern faculty and staff, as well as our family and friends that are here and online. Thank you all for being here. Now, I would like to welcome the Commander of Detachment 772, Lieutenant Colonel Adam Glover, for the opening remarks.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's truly an honor to be here. I love looking around and seeing the families and the friends, the mentors that we've had in this room. Truly an incredible sight as we get to welcome 7 new officers into the Air Force. First, I want to say thank you to President Faulkner for being here today. Your continued support of our program, your love for the military community is truly one of a kind. I don't know too many other university presidents that would be at an event like this, taking time from your family to be able to be here. So thank you for that. It's truly incredible what you've done for us and our program. Very, very grateful for you and your leadership. I also want to say thank you to General Harvell. He's been a good friend as we've had this last year together. Your love for not only our cadre team, but for the cadets and the program and for the military is evident as you go out. So thank you so much for all that you've done for us. Lastly, it's a blessing to have all of our families here, our friends, those mentors that we've had in our life. It's really important as we are getting ready to launch our new lieutenants into the Air Force to have you all here to support them and cement this moment in their life. It's truly a historic moment for our soon-to-be lieutenants as we launch them into serving this country. I remember my own commissioning. It was about 19 years ago. It's a long time. So I know that that memory is very evident in mine and Laura's mind as we can look back on it today, because it was a very historic moment. However, there are some things that I didn't truly understand and grasp the weight of when I took the commission. So I want to take a few minutes, just real quick, just to kind of help you understand the significant moment that this is. Commissioning is significant for several reasons. First, you're now part of an elite group of the population. Like Dr. Harvell was saying, less than 2% of the population serves. Less than 0.01% are military officers. Not just in the Air Force, but officers of the military. You now have a role and responsibility to uphold the values of the military corps. You are part of that 0.01%. Second, commissioning confirms your personal character and gifts that are aligned with what we expect as officers and leaders. So use them to lead humbly, serve with integrity, and exceed our high expectations of you. Finally, commissioning is more than just a confirmation, but it also places upon you a burden of responsibility. As officers, you'll be tested to make tough decisions that will affect the lives of the people that are around you. The burden that you'll face will be to make the right decision every day for your mission, for your unit, and for your people. It's not going to be easy, but just know that we have full faith and confidence in your ability and in who you are. So go lead this next generation. So before we really begin the oath of office and the ceremony and our guest speaker, I just want to tell you how proud I am of each of you. I know I've only been here a year, but I came in with expectations of what cadets would be and where they needed to grow. You've blown away all those expectations, every single one of you. It's been a blessing to have you, to get to know you, to be able to launch you into this next portion of your career. It has been a great moment for me. I know for the cadre team as well. We've loved getting to know you, loved getting to get you to this point. So please, when you enter active duty, don't lose touch. Keep in touch with us. We're here to help. We're here to guide, to be a mentor as best as we can. Thank you all so much for what you've done. Can't wait to send you off today. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Glover. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I have the privilege of introducing today's guest speaker, United States Air Force retired Lieutenant Colonel Warren Parker. Warren Parker enlisted in the United States Air Force in 1996 as a C-17 crew chief for 8 years. He then attended ROTC and graduated from Charleston Southern in 2005 with his master's in business and administration. Shortly after, he attended technical school for the U.S. Intelligence at Goodfellow Air Force Base. As an officer in the Air Force, some of his duties included intelligence analyst, counter-IED team lead for the Army, 9th Air Force intelligence chief, illicit weapons analyst for U.S. Africa Command, ISR team chief for Central Command, senior intelligence officer for MacDill Air Force Base, and deputy division chief for DIA. He has served in Germany, Iraq, and across the United States during her service as a crew chief and intelligence officer. He retired in 2024 with his wife Melissa in Huntsville, Alabama. He has been married to her for 28 years and has 2 children, Brianna and Brandon, with 1 grandpup who many of you may know as Waylon. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming United States Air Force retired Lieutenant Colonel Warren Parker.
Hello. It's good to see you guys here today, man. It seems like yesterday I was sitting right there where they are, commissioning back in 2005. Man, it's like deja vu all over again. I want to thank you for that introduction. That was really, really great. I greatly appreciate it. And I also would like to thank CSU President Keith Faulkner for inviting me here today. And I would like to thank Brigadier General Havel for that wonderful prayer. That was excellent. I'd also like to thank the families here today for allowing me to share this magnificent day with you. And let's give a shout out to all the moms in attendance. Yes. To the world, you are a mother, but to your family, you are the world. Most of all, I want to thank the remarkable men and women we honor here today for embracing this awesome responsibility of leadership and accepting the noblest mission that I believe a young person can pursue, which is to provide security for American people and indeed much of the rest of the world. After all, the Air Force doesn't just recruit people, we recruit overachievers with a serious case of can-do attitude and the ability to navigate the mysterious world of acronyms, regulations, and the fine art of looking busy while moving at the speed of light. I'd also like to acknowledge my daughter, Brianna, who will be commissioning today as well. You've come so far, and I'm truly honored. You decided to follow a path leading our outstanding airmen in the world's greatest Air Force. Your mom and I are truly proud. When she was little, I would come home every day, and she would go, "Dad, what did you do at work today?" And being that I was an intelligence officer, I really couldn't tell her. So I would tell her, "Work is work." And we went on for that for years and years. Well, now, Brianna, as you move on, you're commissioning, you have a clearance. I can ask you, how was work today? And you can tell me work was work, but just remember, I still have the same clearance as you. As commissioned officers, you've stepped forward to give our people the security that allows them to get up in the morning, take their kids to school, go to work, dream their dreams, and live lives that are full. And there's no better feeling than being part of that mission. As you step forward into a complex and changing world, our nation is counting on your constant professionalism, on your pursuit of innovation, and most of all, on your principled leadership. So before you pin on your bars, I want to take some time to discuss strategic landscape in which you will soon figure. Then I'd like to discuss briefly a couple lessons that I learned to carry with you and the great challenges that you will confront in your career. Today, we face no fewer than 5 major, immediate, and evolving challenges. Countering the prospect of Russian aggression and coercion, especially in Europe, managing historic change in the vital Asian-Pacific region, strengthening our deterrent and defense forces in the face of North Korea's nuclear provocations, checking Iranian aggression and malign influence in the Persian Gulf, and accelerating to defeat terrorism in the Middle East, and everywhere it's growing around the world. We don't have the luxury of choosing among these 5 challenges. We have to deal with them all, and they may all affect your career in some way in different times. One of the main lessons I learned while in command is don't ever forget that our people are our greatest strength. Recognize the caliber of those you lead as a brand new officer. Listen and respect the quality and the experience of the NCOs and the ideas of the airmen under your command. Remember their families and their sacrifices they make. And don't ever forget that those you lead count on you to do your utmost. Leadership in the Air Force is about more than just making decisions. It's about inspiring others to give their best. Another lesson is have the courage to accept risk and solve those problems. The wisdom to determine when that risk becomes a gamble. You're responsible for the lives of your people and the accomplishment of your mission. Balancing those two solemn duties is one of the most difficult tasks you'll face, but you've got to succeed. That's the burden of command. Fully commit to your career field. Go all in your professionalism. If you're going to be an aircraft pilot, an RPA pilot, a maintainer, acquisitions officer, intelligence officer, and even force support officer, focus on being the best you can be. Focus your energy on mastering your profession. Become technically and tactically proficient. Become known as an officer of consequence and character. As you accept your commission, I want you to consider the words of George Washington, who told his own officers, "Remember that it is the actions and not the commission that make an officer, and that there is more expected from him than his title." These words will have a greater meaning to you as your career progresses. Character is a lesson you have to constantly learn. You're never done. And it's a lesson you will teach as well throughout your career. Let me close with this final thought. We are a nation that deals with war, and some of the officers in this audience may be in some kind of conflict within a couple of years of graduation or even sooner. "Whom shall I send?" the good book asked. "Who will go for us?" "Here I am, send me." The prophet replied, "Send me." When Lady Liberty looks at the destruction of our enemies would cause us to suffer, she too asks, "Whom shall I send? Who will go for me?" By wearing the uniform of this nation, you are saying, "Here I am, send me." I'm proud of each of you and what you're about to do. May God bless you all and all who have served before us. And may God bless the land of liberty we call the United States of America. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. And before you take your seat, we have a small token of our appreciation from the commissioning class today. Thank you again, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, this now brings us to the focal point of today's ceremony, the commissioning of the senior cadets. Once commissioned, they will help lead the world's finest Air Force and defend the Constitution of our great nation. The commissioning will include the oath of office, the pinning of the second lieutenant rank, and finally the first salute. The oath of office is a pledge given by a commissioned officer to a commissioning cadet. The oath is given freely, and the cadet will attest to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Those in attendance today during this momentous moment, please feel free to come forward and take pictures. Lieutenant Colonel Glover and Devin Gregg, please come forward.
So as Devin comes up, I wanted to say a few words just about each individual person, but Devin served as our Deputy Wing Commander and our Inspector General over this last year. He's going to be entering into maintenance, and I've got 3 words that I kind of wanted to say about who he is. I see you as determined, trusted, and direct. Determined. It took a lot of grit to get here. I know it did. And you've exceeded those challenges every single day. Trusted. You were one of the ones, I think, that stood out of your peers, that everybody below you would go and tell you what they needed to have done, or they had problems and issues. You were the one, the confidant that they would come to. It's going to serve you well on active duty, too, as an officer. And then direct. There's no fluff about you. You're a direct guy, but we need that in the Air Force, too. We need feedback, so keep it up as you get ready. You ready? Got this, too.
Lieutenant Colonel Glover will now administer the oath of office.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Devin Lewis Gregg,
Having been appointed
a
second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
that
that I will support and defend
I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
that
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations.
Detachment 772's commander, Lieutenant Colonel Adam Glover, will now present the commissioning certificate to Lieutenant Gregg.
It's got a nice ring to it. Never again will it be cadet. I'll take that.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Glover. Will the family of Devin Gregg please come forward? Lieutenant Gregg will now have his second lieutenant ranks pinned on. Lieutenant Gregg will now participate in the silver dollar salute. By tradition, a dollar coin is the only coin given in exchange for the first salute. While a coin may be just $1 in denomination, it represents a value far greater. It's the deep-felt gratitude for the mentorship and lessons imparted by the non-commissioned officer on lieutenant before he embarks on the profession of arms. Retired Gunnery Sergeant Sandra Cawley, please come forward. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you United States Air Force Second Lieutenant Devin Gregg.
Well, I was gonna try and impromptu this, but then everybody started showing up and, I had to write some notes down. First and foremost, all honor and glory for this event, for me being here today. The only reason I'm here today, that glory goes to God. That goes to the Lord Jesus Christ. Happy Mother's Day. For everybody that's watching that couldn't be here, Mom, Nana, Mama, happy Mother's Day. I think this is something that y'all should be celebrating as well, especially I should be celebrating you because you created what's standing on this stage. And anybody that's in attendance today, you're not just friends, Father John. You're not just Father John. You're family. To me, you're family. We don't care about those labels anyway. Ashley, I know a lot of people were expecting this to be coming, but I'm proud to announce that as of this morning, I can call Ashley my loving fiance. The one who's going to be there with me to keep me on the straight and narrow and pull my hair and keep me straight like my mom would do. But you here that are in attendance today, Colonel Glover, Cadre, you are my foundation, you are my rock, you are what made me, so thank you. You've all been pivotal, and if there's only one thing that I could say, one lesson, I am a true testament that you should not let anybody tell you no. If someone tells you no or someone puts you down, says you can't be who you want to be, that's too bad. Be who you want to be. You have the Lord with you, carry him with you. If it's his will to be done, it will be done. You will get to the end. Stick it out. Be true to yourself. Be true to your morals. And I got to throw that in there anyway. Since I waited the longest, it's only fitting I got to go first. But thank you to everybody. I love you all. God bless.
Will Lieutenant Colonel Glover, sorry, and Tyson Leclerc, please come forward.
All right, Tyson, come on up. So Tyson served as our Mission Support Group Commander this year. He served as our Community Outreach Squadron Commander, and he will be attending pilot training here at Columbus Air Force Base. In what, 7 days you're leaving? Less than that now? We got orders today, so he is ready to go. 3 things I see in you: competitive, athletic, and you're always that comedic value that we need, right? And so I think all those 3 things together, when I look at you, you're our team captain. You're our team captain. When I see you out on the PT field, when you're out playing sports, man, you are able to pull a team together like nobody else. I see that leadership in you. So excited that you get to live your dream of becoming a pilot. Keep that up, man. I'm really proud of you. Congratulations. Let's do this.
Lieutenant Colonel Glover will now administer the oath of office.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Tyson Leclerc,
Having been appointed
having been appointed
a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
Second Lieutenant of the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
and I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office upon which
of the office upon which
I'm about to enter,
I'm about to enter,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Lieutenant Colonel Glover will now present the commissioning certificate to Leclerc. Will Tara Leclerc, Taylor Leclerc, Donovan Acerbi, and Sydney White please come forward? Lieutenant Leclerc will now have his second lieutenant ranks pinned on. Lieutenant Leclerc will now participate in the Silver Dollar Salute. Retired Senior Master Sergeant Leclerc, please come forward. Thank you, retired Senior Master Sergeant Leclerc. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you United States Air Force Second Lieutenant Tyson Leclerc.
All right, well, Cadet Simmons, you won the bet. I cried first, so here it is. I'm so grateful and blessed to be here. Some would say lucky, because I did not get the job I wanted at first, and then miraculously got pilot, and I'm so blessed to be here. I couldn't do it with a lot of people that are here today. Everyone here that I've invited here, you've invested in me. I got my golf sponsor, Pop Keith, right there. But there's a saying that I say. It's called "play the game." My dad used this a lot growing up, and a lot of times it's like for the system or like sports, things like that. But right now it's for life. And when I think of that if I'm a football guy, so in football, the bottom half of like the second quarter is when the team really needs to build that momentum and score to set the tone into the rest of the game, right? To win that game. And I feel like that's where I'm at in my career with pilot training. I need that momentum to go through, set that course for the rest of my career. And with my team, I feel like we can definitely do that. I can do that. And I just want to say thank you to my mom. Happy Mother's Day. My awesome sister. She's a handful, but I love that girl. My brother Donovan. We look a little different, but that's my brother right there. And my beautiful, awesome, loving girlfriend, Sydney, pushed me out of bed sometimes to go to PT. My mama, my papa, they've always been there for me. My mama Shia, I love my mama Shia, my Uncle Travis, my Raina, Austin, Uncle Tyler, every one of y'all, everyone that's here. And my dad. That's what I get. I'm so excited for you. I almost did it.
Will Lieutenant Colonel Glover and Tim McKinney please come forward?
All right. Timmy McKinney, training squadron commander for the first semester. It's a big semester for us. And then you are our force support squadron commander, which is ideal because you're going to be entering the Air Force as a force support officer. And it fits your personality so well. But I think you all know the 3 words I'm going to say for McKinney. Good to go. There we go, right? But what that means, I think, is deeper than that. Good to go, right? But what I see in you is ready, willing, and able. Really is what you are. Ready, willing, and able. Always capable, always ready to jump in and do anything. And that's what you're going to bring to the Air Force. And I'm so excited for you. Thank you for what you did. Let's get to it. You ready?
Lieutenant Colonel Glover will now administer the oath of office.
Right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Timmy Alonzo McKinney Jr.,
Having been appointed
as
as Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office upon which
of the office upon which
I'm about to enter.
that I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
There you go.
Lieutenant Colonel Glover will now present the commissioning certificate to Lieutenant McKinney. Will Brianka McKenney please come forward? Lieutenant McKenney will now have his second lieutenant ranks pinned on. Lieutenant McKenney will now participate in the Silver Dollar Salute. Steve Philpott, please come forward. Good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you United States Air Force Second Lieutenant Tim McKenney.
Thank you so much for everyone who showed up and came in support of all of our 400 class right here. Thank you to the family, friends, and everybody who had a direct response of just loving, caring, and due diligence to helping us get to this point here. As you see, I don't have anything written down. I like to go from the heart and shoot from the hip. But I also want to start off from a point of thanking my 400 class. All of the feedback, everything that you guys have done, all the work that you've put in has allowed me to change my mind from just Marine Corps to the Air Force. Everything that you've done, all the work, all the support that you've gone and given to the cadets underneath us, from the 300 class, the 200 class, and to the 100 class. And I even thank the ones underneath us for being willing to learn and willing to put forth that effort to be teachable and to grow in your career as well. Also want to thank the cadre from the past and the present. You have done a phenomenal job. If you haven't been told that, you have done a phenomenal job to get us here. We're now second lieutenants, and it's all because of what you guys have instilled in us and put into us, and I thank you for that. To my brother, the Marine Corps, once a Marine, always a Marine. I love you, man. You've kept me out of a lot of trouble. I was a knucklehead in the Marine Corps, but your guidance and advice has kept me stern and steady and kept giving me that foundation that I needed. Even when I wanted to crash out, you gave me a better mindset of things of how to rearrange my mind and to hit it from that point of view. And I thank you for that. And to my loving wife, thank you for putting up with all my BS and my knuckleheadness as well. From 2009 in high school until we got married in 2000, was it 13? Yep. So 11 years of marriage. It's been up and down roller coaster from high school to now, and you've still been there. You've been my rock. You've been my biggest supporter, and you've been there to actually encourage me to go to the Air Force, because I was not thinking about doing it. But I thank you for showing me that there are more opportunities than just being a knuckle dragger. So, and also being an inspiration to me, because you stood here first. You become a commissioned officer. You went into the logistics field and you became a captain. So technically you still outrank me. I just don't have to salute you. So, but I thank you for everything that you've done, and I have secured the bag. So I love you, and I love each and every one of you, and thank you, and good to go.
Will Lieutenant Colonel Glover and Zachary Murray please come forward?
So Cadet Murray was our executive officer for the first semester, and then he was our spring cadet wing commander. So taking the role of the lead for our detachment, organizing plans, programs, exactly what we were going to be doing all throughout the year. You spent a lot of time with Captain Powers, making sure those plans were perfect, and so thank you for that. He's also going to be entering the Air Force as a pilot, heading to Vance Air Force Base. It was my first duty station as well. Here, I think, end of the month, right? End of the month. Three things that I see in you. Leader, jack of all trades, and legacy-minded. Leader, you were the one, so I don't think I've told anybody this, but one of the things that we've been doing is that we look for nominations for the cadet wing commander position. And so this was the first time that we did it, but you had the highest. Out of all the nominations, you had the most. People see you as a leader. They look up to you because of what you've done, what you stand for, and the values that you hold. And you always make sure that the things we're doing to make it better every single day. You look for the legacy, not just the immediate impact. So thanks for what you've done. Excited for this moment with you.
Lieutenant Colonel Glover will now administer the oath of office.
I state your name.
I, Zachary Thomas Murray,
Having been appointed
a
second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office upon which
of the office upon which
I'm about to enter.
I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Lieutenant Colonel Glover will now present the commissioning certificate to Lieutenant Murray. Will Brian Murray, Kelly Murray, and Haley Matajow please come forward? Lieutenant Murray will now have his second lieutenant ranks pinned on. Lieutenant Murray will now participate in the Silver Dollar Salute. Tech Sergeant O'Rourke, please come forward. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you United States Air Force Second Lieutenant Zachary Murray.
Well, I am going to wing this.
Oh, let me pull my phone out. So someone a long time ago told me, when you don't know what to say, you read from the good book. So I'm going to read something from the good book, my favorite book, the Holy Bible. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans for welfare and not for calamity, to give you a future and a hope." 400s. That's what we've got. The Lord is on our side. He knows that the plans that are lined up ahead of us, and he's going to take care of us. To my parents, thank you guys for instilling everything that the commanders talked about into me. I couldn't have done it without you. To my brother and sister over there, my other sister, she couldn't make it, but to Ben and Kate, thank you for all y'all have done. Couldn't have done it without y'all. And my old roommate Gavin, he's sitting back there. Just flew in this morning from a dead head, so thanks, buddy. Couldn't have done it without you. All those early PT mornings. Sorry I had to wake you up for that. And then my fiance. I'm not going to cry, so I'm just going to, thanks for everything. All the overnight meetings that I had with the cadets about certain different things. There was a lot, and for a future to come. I can't wait. And to Haley's parents, thank you guys for all y'all have done for me and Haley. There's a lot that's going to happen in the future, and so I just know that you guys have our backs. And to the cadre team, y'all have done everything for us that could possibly be done. And we're set up for success, and I can't wait to potentially come back and just instill what you guys have given to us back into the cadets and the cadet wing. Thank you.
So don't go too far. I got one more thing. So one thing that we get to do sometimes is when we have people that really just exceed the standard and get to a point where they have set themselves apart. In most of our Air Force courses that we do, we have a thing called Distinguished Graduate. So I have the honor to be able to tell you, congratulations, you were selected as a Distinguished Graduate of the Air Force ROTC program. Come on up.
Will retired Lieutenant Colonel Warren Parker and Breonna Parker please come forward?
So Cadet Parker was our operations group commander in the fall, and then our deputy wing commander in the spring. She is going to be following in her father's footsteps as she becomes an intel officer in the Air Force. My 3 words I had about you: bubbly, caring, and dedicated. When I was coming in, I was told that, hey, if you want something done right, make sure Cadet Parker's on it. So anytime that we had the opportunity to make sure that you were working something, doing something, we knew it was taken care of. When we had the general visit, right, when we had all these different things that were happening for our detachment, if I knew you were if you were a part of it, I didn't have to worry because you were dedicated and I knew you was going to get taken care of. You've got a great personality. You just make friends very easily. It's going to serve you well, especially with your airmen. Get to know them, care about them, be the best leader that you can. Sir.
Retired Lieutenant Colonel Parker will now administer the oath of office.
I, Breonna Catherine Parker,
Having been appointed as Second Lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
having been appointed as a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution
that I will support and defend the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without mental reservation,
without mental reservation,
purpose of evasion,
purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office upon which
I'm about to enter.
I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Lieutenant Colonel Glover will now present the commissioning certificate to Lieutenant Parker. Will Melissa Parker, Brandon Parker, Connie Jolly, and Patricia Parker please come forward? Lieutenant Parker will now have her second lieutenant ranks pinned on. Lieutenant Parker will now participate in the Silver Dollar Salute. Tech Sergeant O'Rourke, please come forward. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you United States Air Force Second Lieutenant Brianna Parker.
Wow. Oh, I said I wasn't going to start with wow. Okay. This has been honestly a great experience. Tyson, actually, I lost the bet when my dad spoke. I definitely bawled, so I hate to break it to you. There's been a lot of ifs and buts along the way, and if you were to ask me when I graduated with my undergraduate degree what I was going to be doing, this is not in the cards per se, but I'm very happy and proud to be here and following in amazing footsteps, which I will get to. First, I want to thank Charleston Southern, honestly, for bringing me back to my strong relationship with Christ. Sometimes you get pulled away and carried away, and this school has really brought me back and centered me back into my relationship with the Lord. So that's my thank you to the Lord and to this school, because it has definitely been a blessing. Then I want to thank my parents and my brother for a lot of things, more than just being encouraging and supporting, but truly being an inspiration to me, especially you, Dad. You've set a guideline in a way, and I'm so grateful that I get to say that I'm your daughter for both of you guys and follow in your footsteps. And definitely for Brandon to watching Waylon, because we know I like to travel, and he stayed at your house a lot. He also stayed at my grandparents' house, Nana and Papa, and the Finley family. Thank you for not only having me here in your hometown in Charleston for the last 3 years, but sometimes feeding me when I really didn't feel like cooking, or letting me stay the night so I didn't have to drive 15 minutes for PT in the morning. That was awful, but you guys have been a blessing, and you've really helped me through all the stress. To Mimi and Pops for giving me not only like the keys to success in life, but also putting me on some good country music when I was a baby, and we know I love some good Dolly Parton, so God bless. To my friends who have traveled here today, both online, I don't know where you guys are, but online if you're watching, but also to Kennedy, Brett, Chloe, and Chase, and some of my cadet friends here as well. I hope that I get to cherish this friendship with you guys for a lifetime, because I don't know a lot of people who would travel for literally one day or for a weekend to come and support this. This is a huge moment for me, and I'm greatly appreciative of that. To my boyfriend, Logan, you've been very supportive of me, not only this weekend, because I've been a hot mess, absolute chaos, but also just making life exciting. You really have set a standard for me, and I greatly appreciate everything that you do. To my Marcom team, I know some of you guys are here. Thank you for giving me a job, even though I have no idea what marketing is. I literally came in and was like, I pretty much majored in terrorism, and I don't know how to take a picture, but someone tell me what to do. And you guys helped me with a lot, and I've been so happy and proud, and you guys just make also life exciting, and it's so fun working with you guys. And I'll see you guys for the next 2 months after this. And then to my cadre, both before and currently, you're right behind me. You guys have taught me what leadership looks like through the eyes of different individuals, and I'm very happy to take the lessons that you guys have taught me and bring it into the Air Force. There's a lot of good things that you guys leave behind, and I'm so excited for the classes behind us because they've been blessed, truly. But I think that's it. That's all I got. So congratulations, everybody, too.
Will Lieutenant Colonel Glover and Sean Simmons please come forward?
So Sean was our Falls Wing Information Officer, so really just kind of bringing as much information as we could to the cadets. And then our Director of Staff, new position kind of in the spring. And so he's getting ready to do a really cool opportunity in the Air Force. So acquisitions and contracting. So he got selected to do acquisitions. It was his number 2 choice. And then they said, hey, you know what? Your number 1 choice is probably pretty cool for you too, so let's give you a little bit of breadth in the Air Force. So they're gonna let him go be a contracting officer for 4 years and then go do acquisitions. 3 words I have for you, communicator, motivator, and a leadership presence. You are one of the most polished people that I've seen, and it's gonna be, your peers are gonna hate you because of how good you're gonna be as an officer. You have been so well prepared for this. I love listening to you speak. I love the leadership presence that you have. I'm really excited that the Air Force is gaining you as an officer. You're going to do an amazing job. And we also have a little bit of a history together from the 16th. So we've kind of had similar organizations kind of going through. So Lion Pride as well. Let's do it.
Lieutenant Colonel Glover will now administer the oath of office.
I state your name.
I, Sean Simmons,
Having been appointed
a
second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
do solemnly swear
that
I will support and defend
I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations.
Lieutenant Colonel Glover will now present the commissioning certificate to Lieutenant Simmons. Will Ms. Sydney Simmons please come forward? Lieutenant Simmons will now have his second lieutenant ranks pinned on. Lieutenant Simmons will now participate in the Silver Dollar Salute. Command Chief Master Sergeant Carmine Kelly, please come forward. Thank you, Command Chief Master Sergeant Kelly. And before you take your seat, Lieutenant Simmons actually has something for you.
Got one more thing for you, Chief.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you United States Air Force Second Lieutenant Sean Simmons.
Oh, man. This was a long journey for sure. When I was coming up on stage, I decided to stop and kind of clap a little bit. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for my journey here. That was me thanking God for getting me to this point, because I would not be here if it wasn't for His grace, His mercy, and His faithfulness. So I just needed that moment in myself. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, to my sister and my mom, Patrice, Miss Penny, who's the mother of my wife, Sydney. Thank you for instilling just grace and love and nurturing in a way that only a mother can do. My story here is deeper than just college. I enlisted in 2011, and I always had aspirations of commissioning. But along the way, I met a lot of friends, and I got comfortable being enlisted, and I also realized I'm a very bad student, and I didn't think that this day was possible. But once I came back to Charleston on active duty, I really think that's when God put His plan in motion for me. I met some of the greatest people. I worked with some of the greatest leaders. I've had the honor and privilege to supervise some of the greatest airmen and NCOs. And I've been blessed to be a part of the One Charlie community, which gave me that discipline, that interaction with officers. So I'll say first, before I get into all the thank yous, to each and every one of you who are rated positions, make sure you take care of your One Charlies. Take care of your aviation resource managers, because they're the ones that are gonna make sure you get paid. They're the ones that are gonna make sure you fly legally. They're the ones that are gonna take care of you when y'all don't know how to do anything else except make popcorn. I wanna start with the cadre. Colonel Rothwell, I can't see. Colonel Rothwell, thank you so much for welcoming me into the detachment with excitement, with a smile on your face. You made it comfortable from day one, and you were there when I needed you the most whenever I ruptured my Achilles. I thought my time in ROTC was gonna be done, but you reassured me the first day, hey, there's a medical deferral, we'll get you there. There's no way that my road ends here. So thank you so much for that. I can't tell you how grateful I am for that. Colonel Glover, thank you for always letting your values speak for you before you even had to mention a word. You talk about the importance of family, of your faith, and those are things that I carry with me every day throughout this process, and I will for the rest of my life. So I appreciate you for always being a model leader, even when you didn't have to give a speech. I also want to thank my family who could be here. You know, whenever I left in 2011, I thought to myself, like, I'm so done with Charleston. I just want to travel and get out of here. And sure enough, one assignment later, and it's time for me to apply for my BOP, I put Joint Base Charleston as my #1 choice. I needed to come back home because my older brother and sister started having kids, and there was no way that I was going to grow up with a FaceTime relationship with them. I also want to thank Mom and Dad. Thank you for raising me to do all of the little things. Thank you for raising me as a man of faith and a man of conviction, and always teaching me the little things like saying yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Something as simple as that has taken me further than a lot of books that you can read, a lot of YouTube videos you can watch. And I wouldn't be the son of Joe and Shelly Simmons if I didn't say thank you for the belt as well. I got it a little more than I think I deserved, but, you know, it got me here. It got me here. Thank you, Nicholas Gravante, for flying all the way here from Eielson Air Base in Alaska. It means so much, man. It means so much that you were here to share in this moment with me, man. We've been through some crazy times, and you know we've had some experiences with good leadership, like Chief Rouse, and not so good leadership. But through it all, man, like we've been there as wingmen, we've been there as supervisor and raidee, and now we'll be there forever as friends. Also, my One Charlie family, I mentioned y'all earlier, but y'all set the foundation early. I have a couple of them in OCPs in the back, Amaya Simmons and Chris Kraft. They welcomed me into the 15th Airlift Squadron whenever I left the wing working with Command Chief Kelly. And if nothing else, I must say to all of the 400s as we go out and start our new jobs, in the words of Miss Terry Middleton, make sure you master your craft. Let your credibility speak for itself. Your work will take you further than any conversation can, because we can have all the charisma in the world, but when it's time to lead, when it's time to operate, when it's time to do our job, if we don't know what we're doing, all of that goes out of the window. Make sure you master your craft. Chief Kelly. So a lot of y'all saw that I gave her a Coke bottle, right? So one of the things, whenever I first met her, we met when she was the command chief of the 437th Airlift Wing here at Joint Base Charleston. And she gave me a share of Coke with Chief Kelly, and it represents her thanking us for pouring into her enlisted leadership that she was in charge of. And so the least that I could do is give her a Coke as well, saying Second Lieutenant Simmons on it, specifically for this moment. I wanted to make sure it came full circle, and it has now. So thank you for being my big sister when I was away from home. Thank you for always keeping me on the straight and narrow and, you know, keeping me in line. And I can't wait to celebrate your retirement here in the upcoming months. I have a lot of leaders here that couldn't be here today, and I know I'm gonna skip some, but they all know because I've texted them before. But a couple that I wanted to make sure that I mentioned was Lieutenant Colonel Select Michelle Dotson. She was my big sister when I was in Oklahoma City. She's in Australia right now as the Director of Operations in a Wedgetail Squadron. She's an air battle manager, and she's doing big things over there, and she would have been here today if it wasn't for, you know, duty calling. I also want to give a shout out to Chief Murray. He's my reserve functional manager. He welcomed me when I went from active duty to the reserves and didn't know what to do or how to operate that way. Chief Rouse and Senior Master Sergeant Gant, who also couldn't be here today, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention them as well. Also, one of my brothers away from home is Jonathan Washington. So he's one of my best friends, and we were stationed together since 2011. And I reached out to a lot of my friends whenever I got a hold of what this program was, how it worked. And out of all the friends who I reached out to connect with, he was the only one who picked up that phone and is going through the process at the same time as me. He will forever be my wingman. He will forever be a brother to me. And no matter where our lives take us, we'll always have these 3 years that we've been here as our connection, as we both elevate our careers. One last thing I wanted to say about my family is There's a lot of people that couldn't be here, a lot of people that we've lost, and a couple of them that I always keep in mind as I navigate this life. A couple of them I keep in mind with me all the time that I think about every day is Uncle Sammy, Aunt Enid, Aunt Vera, Aunt Vivian, Aunt Mary, and especially Pop. These were some of the matriarchs and patriarchs in my family. And although a lot of them have been gone for a while, I think about them every day. And I know I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them watching over me and keeping us under their cover as well. And lastly, I cannot get off this stage without giving a shout out to my wife, Sydney. She's been the anchor for me. She's been my rock. She's been my financial advisor. She's been my interior decorator. She's been my spiritual guide. I could not be here today without her. Even on my capstone for personal finance, she stayed up late until literally 11:59 p.m. to record that video with me that I got a 98 on and secured this moment. So I'm forever grateful. And you know, I can't wait to spend the rest of our lives together. I can't wait to pay you back and show you all the gratitude each and every day until both of us part ways from this world. And then lastly, I have one last message to the cadets is, as you go on and you develop your leadership skills and you develop who you will be as a leader, make sure you surround yourself with leaders and people from different walks of life. The more diverse your circle is, the more you'll cultivate a culture of empathy and understanding. We all have things that we contribute and all things that we've used to pour into one another. So make sure that whenever you go out and you develop your sphere of influences, make sure that you will always keep people who are different from you. If you're the smartest person in the room, find another room, but take somebody with you as well. Build your credibility by mastering your craft and let your merit get you selected for promotion, for special opportunities, but ensure that when you're doing the selecting, when that time comes, that you're also fair and that you're also objective. Don't let just the personality be the thing that drives you to select who you want to promote or to take a special opportunity or a special assignment. And then lastly, be inclusive with your sphere of influence. Limit your knowledge and experience to no one. You're more than where you fall on the org chart. Don't just think just because you only supervise a couple of people that that's who you were exclusively going to be a leader towards. You're a leader just because you put on the uniform. You're a leader even without the uniform on. So if anybody comes to you for assistance, for guidance, for mentorship, take the time to pour into them the way that your leaders have poured into you. Thank you.
Will Second Lieutenant Valhacula and Ashley Yeomans please come forward?
There she is. So Cadet Yeomans was our Inspector General for the fall semester, and then she was the Mission Support Group Commander. She's getting ready to go be an RPA pilot, so she's going to be heading to Randolph Air Force Base in August, I think, right, is when that date is, yeah? So a couple of things that I saw in you is in our time together: professionalism, driven, and excellence. You always held yourself to the highest standard, and you expected that from everybody around you as well. And where I really see it is when I look at the cadets that you've surrounded yourself with and see how they've been elevated because of what you call them to do. You do an amazing job. Really excited to see what you do in the RPA community, because you're going to do the same thing. You're going to make everybody in that unit better. Maintain your professionalism, because that's your key. You do an amazing job. Really excited for you.
Second Lieutenant Valhacula will now administer the oath of office.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name.
I, Ashley Marie Yeomans,
Having been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
having been appointed a lieutenant in the United States Air Force,
do do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
that I will well and faithfully
that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of the office upon which I am about to enter.
of the office upon which I am about to enter.
Strength and honor.
Strength and honor.
Lieutenant Colonel Glover will now present the commissioning certificate to Lieutenant Yeomans. U.S. Navy retired Lieutenant John Yeomans. Caitlin Yeomans, Megan Yeomans, please come forward. Lieutenant Yeomans will now have her second lieutenant ranks pinned on. Lieutenant Yeomans will now participate in the Silver Dollar Salute. U.S. Navy Second Class Michael Board, please come forward. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you United States Air Force Second Lieutenant Ashley Yeomans.
Okay, now I gotta get my phone out. Okay. Ooh, it's a lot different being up here. Ooh. To be fair, I'm gonna apologize if I do have tears, but I was at a disadvantage since everyone else was pulling out my heartstrings first, and then I come up. So If I start tearing up, I'm just going to go through it. Don't think of me any different. Don't judge me. However, I can officially say, good afternoon, Lieutenant Colonel Glover. Good afternoon, Captain Powers, Captain Whittington, Tech Sergeant O'Rourke, guests, and, wait for it, my fellow second lieutenants. It's kind of nice being the caboose of the last name squad. It has its perks, which is nice in some cases like this. Pause for laughter. Oh, never mind. Okay, so, okay. So there's a ton of people to thank, so many people. I think there's like over 20 people here just in my crowd over there. Say hi, guys, hi. But I definitely want to thank the cadre. There's nothing that I can say that everyone else hasn't already said, but y'all's support has definitely meant so much to each and every one of us throughout the years. I can guarantee it. Happy Mother's Day. Obviously, I actually have two moms that are here. So I've got my mom, my biological mom, Charlotte, over here, and then my lovely stepmom, Lynn. Say hi. And right now, I'm kind of channeling Lynn right now of breathe, slow down, focus, really trying. But obviously, I want to thank my two sisters, Caitlin, my older sister, say hi, and Megan, my little sister, say hi. Actually, it's both of their birthday today. Caitlin is now 24, Megan is now 20. And thank you, applause. So I'm kind of stealing everybody's spotlight today, and it's a little rough. But I want to thank my class and my other parent, my dad. Hi, Dad. How are you? My dad, he taught me a couple things growing up. One, I get my competitiveness from him. I started sailing when I was 7 years old, and he always told me when there was two boats in the water, there was a regatta, right? And strategy, right? I guess really only McKinney knows in my class, but or if y'all have read my bio, I've been playing the board game Monopoly for a while, and Dad taught me that. Started playing that when I was about 4 years old. I didn't beat him for the first time till I was 7, and I can't tell even now if he was proud of me when I beat him or that he was mad at himself for losing to a 7-year-old. So, but ever since then, I like playing with the strategy. But I think the most thing of all is thinking outside of the box, right, and getting ideas on how to do different things. As I use the analogy of riding a bike. When you ride a bike, you two hands, butt on seat, hands on handlebars, like I was taught, right? But growing up, once I learned to ride a bike, I tried doing different tricks on the bike, seeing if I could stand up on the bike or, whatever. And I would inevitably, every single time, injure myself. Every time. I was very accident prone as a kid, and so what my mom and dad both did was really teach me butt in seat, hands on handlebars, right? So that's when I got really good at riding a bike with no hands, and I still do it to the day. I go, okay, well, my butt's in the seat, that's fine, but no hands required. And I think that really, thinking outside of the box really carried me through. I definitely want to thank, there you are, babe, Grayson Akins. He's back there with his family. Say hi, family. So Grayson and we've been together for forever. July will be 6 years, which is kind of crazy, ever since junior ROTC in high school, and lived together now for 3, but when I say seen it all, he has seen it all. When you live with someone, it tends to happen. And he's been through it all, especially through college, of dealing with academic stress, him staying up late with me so I can teach him about whatever I'm learning about in my way of studying. Talking me through different stressors, whether it be academic or through ROTC or personal matters. He's been there, but especially grieving, and seeing how it is, how we can get through that together. I know I might be stealing Simmons' idea here, but there's one person in particular that isn't here today. And I would give anything for him to be here. But in a way, I'm kind of doing it for him, my brother, Kenyatta Poozer. So, unfortunately, he couldn't be here due to some circumstances. But we go on, and I know he is watching over me today. And that he's proud of me. So, however, I really hope I'm not running out of time here. Ooh, yikes. But anyways, the reason I came in today and worked for today is my grandfather, retired U.S. Navy Lieutenant Junior Grade John Yeomans over here. Say hi. Hi, Grampy. And he's sitting next to his lovely wife, my Grammy, or as especially my class knows her as, you can say it with me, sexy lady. They have been nothing but so supportive through this whole time. Grammy, actually, she is here when she didn't have to be. She just got out of the hospital this morning, actually, so round of applause for her being here, right, showing her support. But when I was, ever since I was like 3 years old, I've always loved tattoos, right? And my Grampy, he's got two, right? He has a lady with blue hair on his leg that he always says is his mom. But even at 3 years old, I knew that woman was way too sexy to be his mom. And, and then the Navy emblem on his shoulder, right? And I would look at the one on his shoulder, and I'd go, now excuse my imitation of myself, but can't be, I want the drawing on your arm. And he'd tell me, well, join the Navy. And I go, no, I want the drawing on your arm. And we'd go back and forth. So I like to say I did him one better and joined the Air Force. But he's been nothing but supportive throughout my entire time here, and telling me about anything and everything I could know about the military and especially his experiences. He's definitely the person I look up to in this field. And, but I stayed in, and I stayed pursuing for the community, right? Connecting with people who are going through the same experiences as you, right? Trying to reach the same goal in it together. Like Colonel Glover was saying, we are the 0.01%, right? We're all here for, give or take, about the same goal. And connecting, right? So I want to end on this note. I never had a brother, never biological at least. I've had very close friends that I call my brothers, and I love as brothers. And through these past 4 years, my class and I have been through more challenges together than the average class faces. I think we can all agree. We have learned to connect with each other, to work together, promoting our strengths and learning from our weaknesses. We have trusted each other to lean on in times of hard stress and needs. And as we face this new chapter, I am confident in the growth of my family, walking with my new 6 brothers and 1 more sister. Anyone who knows me can tell you I talk a lot, so I'm going to leave it there. But trying to keep in my time, but thank you guys.
Before we continue, let us take a look back at the memories of our newest lieutenants throughout their time at Detachment 772. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Charleston Southern President Keith Faulkner to the podium for closing remarks.
What a way to end a special weekend, a weekend of graduation, a weekend of Mother's Day, and now a weekend of commissioning the newest second lieutenants in the United States Air Force. I'd be remiss if I didn't say to my two submarine veteran and active duty friends out there, I think there may be 3 of us in here, and that's it. I joke with these guys all the time. As a Navy person, being surrounded by all this Air Force makes me a little twitchy. But I can tell you, in honor of you today, I did 2 things. I normally always wear a blue and gold, or blue and tan, some sort of Charleston Southern colored tie. But today, I wore the red, white, and blue in your honor. I will tell you, it's such a great privilege to spend just a few minutes with you. You've heard some very eloquent speeches. You've heard some heartfelt remarks. So I'm not going to belabor this, but there are just a few things I would like to leave you with. Not only the love of Charleston Southern, which you certainly have, you certainly have earned, and you certainly deserve, but just a couple of other things. A reminder you've heard already, leadership is a responsibility. It's also a great privilege. Try to enjoy both of those, right? The privilege that comes along with shaping and contouring and guiding careers and lives. As I've heard many of you talk about the non-commissioned officers, the other officers, your families, all of that went into shaping and making you what you are today, and that's men and women of steel. I want you to understand this as you leave. You're ready. I hope you believe that. I believe that. I'm encouraged that this group is going out to lead in the United States Air Force. This is exciting, and I will tell you, not only academically are you ready, but your leadership, now and previous, have put you in a position to succeed. Now go out and do it. 4 words that I try to remind myself of every day with the great privilege and responsibility I have of leading this university are these: humility, empathy, mentioned earlier, wisdom, and courage. Okay? So I'm going to talk to you very briefly about these. From Matthew we hear, "Not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be your slave. Just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." Secondly, from Philippians, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than yourselves. Do not be concerned only with your interest, but also with the interests of others." This verse epitomizes humility and service, selfless service. It also talks about empathy, humility and empathy. At graduation, many of you were fortunate to be there, and you heard our graduation speaker say something that I tried to memorize, and I hope I got it correct when I said this. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the presence of conviction. You are all convicted. You are all now commissioned to go out and be leaders. Finally, I pray for you wisdom. I pray that you will listen, as you heard earlier, to the NCOs, to all those who have pounded a lot of ground and flown a lot of air miles before you got there. You're the best second lieutenants coming into the United States Air Force right now. But I can tell you, there are a lot of people who know a lot more than you do right now. Have the humility and the courage to listen to them, learn from them, and then lead them wherever that may take you. We are so privileged that you spent part of your season of life with us at Charleston Southern University, and now we are looking forward to seeing how high you can fly. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give one more round of applause to our brand new second lieutenants. Seriously, you all, congratulations from the classes before you, or behind you, excuse me. You have led by example, and we all are so excited to see what each of you do in the Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's commissioning ceremony. Please stand for the singing of the first verse of the Air Force song, followed by the departure of the official party and distinguished guests. Our new lieutenants will lead us in singing the first verse of the Air Force song. The lyrics are located on the projectors up front.
Give him the gun, hey!
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending today's ceremony, and thank you again to the Charleston Southern faculty and cadets for helping set up this event. Please take as many pictures as you'd like and join us in the foyer for refreshments. Happy Mother's Day and have a wonderful Air Force evening.